Hi, welcome to Off the Clock podcast, where we talk all things clinical research and everything in between, but a real down to earth, having a drink, off the clock. We're really excited you guys are here today to watch this podcast, and we have exciting news to tell you guys.
And as per usual, if you're seriously conscious or anything, you're more than welcome to have a drink with us.
Of course.
But we
Well,
have big news
yes,
and a guest.
yes,
So, two banger. Big news and a guest. So,
back to back.
back to back.
Well, so
Two people.
first off, we opened up Clean Social, which a lot of you have been hearing about it on social media. It's basically a social media marketing directed just for clinical research. So we're trying to really hone into our expertise in clinical research and social media and just bring it all together and help the whole ecosystem of clinical research,
Full circle.
all of
Circle of
us,
research.
to be able to really show and portray our message the way we should portray it, where it creates more of an impact in the world.
More relatable to the research naive population and to create a balance and complete the circle of life or treatments.
I feel like insert Lion King now.
All right,
But
so let's introduce
let's introduce our special guest. So our special guest is a recipient of an Emmy Award, a recipient of the Golden Telly, and an AFI Award. So let's present Raymond Linares, who is now our founding partner with Consocial.
How you guys doing?
Hi.
Nice to see
Hi.
you. Hey, how are you? Thank you for
Good.
having me. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you guys.
So I think we should start with you telling them about yourself. Like,
Oh,
who are
your
you?
background, like, who is
Yeah.
Raymond Linares?
So,
Other than the pro pool player.
well, that's a whole separate podcast. My name is Raymond.
Literally.
I'm I'm a award-winning filmmaker. I've been in film and television space for about 20 years. I actually got into it because of a mutual passion that Jen and Felix and I have. We all kind of met playing pool, which is kind of funny, down in Miami.
Yeah.
And I got into video production because of pool. Led me into like some mentorship stuff, and then I went to film school, graduated from film school, and then won a bunch of awards. Started freelancing, creating some documentary promo work and commercial space work, and some short films. You know, just run of the mill stuff. Worked in television, broadcasting, sports, TV shows, reality stuff.
So basically, really good quality.
Just high quality stuff. Yeah, I gained
Amazing CV. It sounds
gained a lot of experience in production and cinema and broadcasting and commercials and stuff.
like
So
production,
Sounds
stuff
good.
yeah,
like that, no?
yeah, that's basically the short end of it.
The
So-
short, because it's a long list.
So what got you interested in partnering with us for Consocial? What was your
Well, I think
let
the
other people?
yeah, I think the first thing is like I have a long relationship with Jen and Felix. I've known them for a long time. So when they approached me about what they're doing with Clin Social, I thought it was very interesting, and I could tell that they're both obviously very passionate and obviously really experienced in this industry. It's not an experience. It's not an industry that I've had direct involvement with, but I think the skill set that I bring to them in supporting Clin Social helps amplify what they're doing because they're so quality driven and they're so detailed about the work that they do, and I can tell that they have really strong relationships in the industry. So they really, you know, the fact that it is them that I'm collaborating with makes it easy for me to want to join because I have a lot of trust and experience with who they are as people, and that made it fun for me to want to kind of join on board. And I was looking for something that I could lend my creative skill set to help build from the ground up. And yeah, I think Clin Social is going to do a lot of really fun things in this space.
I will say I honestly love like your work and the level of quality that you bring
Sure.
to the table, and I
Thank
feel
you.
like for me I had everything. Like I have these ideas, I have all
Sure.
these things that I'm like, this would work, people will watch, people will do this, but I didn't have like you.
The means
Right.
of execution.
And
Right.
so I feel like when we were discussing Clin Social and all that, we were like, we kept saying to each other, Raymond,
Raymond.
Raymond. But we were like Raymond, because like obviously we talk a lot. We've been
Yeah.
friends for a very long time,
Yeah.
and so like anytime you won any award, I was always like, what? No
Yeah.
way, my friend won that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
cool for you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so I felt like it was like the first thing that came to my mind.
So what's your favorite out of all the awards that you've won for your filming? What is your favorite one? What's the one that means the most to you?
That's interesting because they're kind of a little bit different each. I think the one that gives me there's like an equal kind of like bid for the ones that are most important for me personally. The first big award that I won was with the American Film Institute. They awarded a documentary that I did with the Miccosukee tribe. Close friend of mine, Houston Cypress, who is down there. He's very involved in media, and I've had a long relationship with him since I've been since I was in film school. I helped a broadcast television show that they had as an outreach thing down in Miami for a while, and then they were doing this really beautiful documentary about the Miccosukee tribe, kind of discussing how it's basically a story that's recorded entirely in their native language, which is interesting.
That's
So it's all
so
it's
awesome.
very, very cool to kind of sit back and see a whole documentary about a culture in their native language. And it's all subtitles. So that was really cool kind of collaborating with them on that part.
I'm sure they felt like really proud that it was in their native language too.
Yeah, and they used it and it won a few awards. It
Yeah.
won Best Picture in like this Native American Film Festival. It's basically
amazing.
like a South by Southwest, but for Native
Yeah.
arts. But it basically tells a story of them teaching the next generation the culture and the traditions that are passed down that are very tied to the land inspired by the Everglades.
That's
So it's got
amazing.
like a cultural preservation side and an environmental preservation side. And because the Everglades is a World Heritage Site, it was given this Global Peace Initiative Award by the American Film Institute in Cannes.
I love that.
I got a phone call when I was like, Houston's like, hey, big news, this film is going to Cannes. Can you make it like this
Oh,
weekend?
wow.
And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Let me book my flight to Paris. Like,
You're like, yeah, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
yeah, exactly. So I wasn't able to go, but he represented us, and it was just so that was cool because
So
that's a
good.
project that I built with my director, and him and I worked together just making this story, which was a lot of fun. And then there's this other project that I worked on that collaborated with a team out of New York that won the Emmy award, and they called me a few months after the project was wrapped and submitted, and it goes through this whole kind of approval process, and then you win an Emmy. Like, hey, by the way, you won an Emmy. Where can we send this trophy?
Wow.
And
Oh
so I
my
was like,
God.
oh, cool, and so
I think you said you gave it to your mom, right?
That's a lot
Yeah.
cooler than my APA trophies, that's for sure.
right, yeah. So what I did, because my mom's been she's like kind of gave us the idea of like hard work, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and what it means to really put yourself down
Yeah.
and succeed. And so I got the trophy. I took some photos of it for myself, for my memories and
For your
stuff.
Instagram.
Right, for the gram, like, hey, I won
Hey,
this,
what's
I won
up?
this thing, and then
Portfolio.
yeah, and then I drove down to Miami. I was living in Tampa at the time. I just drove straight down to Miami. My mom didn't know I was coming, and I
That's so
walked in her
sweet.
office and just
Surprise
handed it off to her. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
hey,
so sweet.
this is for you. This is a recognition of just a reminder that the work that you're putting in, sacrifices you've made for your kids, are starting to pay off.
No, that's nice.
And so it was important for me to give that to her, and now it's in her office, down in Miami, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So people walk in like, oh, what's that?
So what he's saying is he has experience with reaching cultural diverse populations, which
Yeah.
is very important in clinical
Yeah,
research.
speaking of that, I want to shout out to my buddy Lee from Macoa Health, that he's actually has an initiative of targeting Native American patients in a way that it's very underviewed and undervalued, or
Yeah.
you never find our Native American patients.
Yeah, and he
And he
has
has-
a tribal liaison
He has a
working
tribal
in the
liaison,
site.
Shay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shay also, my boy
Shay Gray.
Shay Gray.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah,
Look out in SOS. Big things are coming with that.
yeah.
I'm not saying anything else. Just
Yeah,
look out.
I have a lot of experience working with tribal leaders, especially through Houston. He had a TV show down in Miami called Miccosukee Magazine TV.
Oh, that's
It's like a
awesome.
public broadcast thing where it was about environment, culture, and arts through a native lens. And so they had all these really cool, interesting spots and different interviews and different focus points they had throughout the city of Miami, which is a lot of fun. A lot of people don't know that there's a lot of native influence in Miami.
Yeah.
Between the Miccosukes and the Seminoles, and
There
see,
is.
Miami
go
and Broward, yeah.
they go to the Hard Rock. It's a Seminole
Or
run.
Miccosukee,
Yeah.
the casino.
Right.
Yeah, the one down south by
Exactly.
Kendall.
Yeah.
Chrome Avenue.
So that's the extent of what they know about the tribal stuff. So it was kind of cool to get to build a lot of close relationships there. There was this one kid, Dylan Ironfoot, I think he's from the Lakota tribe up north. He came down, and we did this spot on him where he created like a custom keyboard with Microsoft. He collaborated with Microsoft to be able to translate the language into technology.
Oh, wow.
To be able able to pass it on to the younger generation
That
because
is
the younger generation was
amazing.
losing
Losing
the literacy
culture
rate.
and
Yeah,
language
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, it's just getting eaten up by
Yeah.
technology. So there was no technological bridge to bridge
Yeah.
that gap. And
That's
so
good.
he did a really impactful
That's good
thing.
thing.
And you got to know too, like historically, like the way they pass down the language is spoken.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like a sacred thing, you know?
Like on the Rosetta Stone.
Right. It's like
No,
it's
there's
like
no Rosetta Stone because it's
we're
sacred.
we're
I'm
being
kidding.
taught like, you know,
Yeah.
mother to father, you know, father
Yeah,
son,
yeah, it's
you
passed
know,
down
exactly,
generation to
generation on generation.
yeah.
But this new generation is so ingrained in technology.
Yeah.
Imagine like kids now, it's like all TikToks, Instagram, social,
Yeah.
which kind of ties back into some of the stuff that, you know, we're gonna do, you know, with Clin Social, kind
Exactly.
of bringing the
Targets.
research stuff down.
The
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm so, I guess, inspired by that. Like
Yeah.
even the idea of doing that because I did skits a long time ago. It's a little embarrassing saying about it now, but so like I was in that industry where we were like growing content and where we're building all these things that like
The
really
beginning
catch.
of the YouTubers.
Yeah, the beginning.
Yeah.
Seriously, I was supposedly famous on Vine.
That's funny. I
That was
remember Vine. Yeah.
that was a long time ago, but
She's not famous anymore
and
'cause they
so
closed down.
no, I'm not because
Now
I
she's
stopped doing
research
it.
famous. She's
Yeah.
a
So,
celebrity in research.
but
Dope.
what I did learn, I learned a lot about what content people want to see.
Right.
And that you can have the best content in the world, but if it's not what people want to see at that moment,
Yeah.
it's not gonna go where it needs to go. And I
Right.
feel like being able to do that for research, something that actually matters, something that's making a difference in so many people's lives, like
Yeah.
that's really what inspires me. It's
Yeah.
like being able to tell a story in a way that's gonna just help everybody involved.
Remove the fear, remove the stigma
Yeah.
of guinea pigs.
Build
and,
that trust.
Remove that fear, create trust. Most sites will not take on a study that they wouldn't give to their own family. You know what I mean? You know, that they wouldn't let their own family
Yeah,
participate in the study.
I think the big thing is that research tends to breed trust.
Mhm.
And so our job, I think, with Clin Social is to try and translate that trust
Mhm.
Bridge
and
the gap.
build that trust with
Mhm.
either the patients themselves, the research sites, and the sponsors.
Yeah.
You know, the sponsors want trust and transparency with the research sites, making sure that they're going to be able to execute fully what's regulated and what's approved, and then, you know, the research sites themselves are going to do their due diligence to make sure patients are safe and make sure they're
Yeah.
engaged in a research study that's going to be sustainable and it's going to give the
And I
results that we
think
need.
being able to share some patient experiences
Yeah.
that they've had in studies. I know that
Testimonials and-
I was in the site side for a long time,
Right.
and I have patients that I think they were in a study in like 2018, 2017,
Right.
and to this day they still call me
Right.
and they still bring me gifts.
Good.
And like I know that at least for Harmony, we even did like compassionate use to the FDA. So it's like we have to independently ask the FDA if we can be like the site where the patient can get the medication, but
Yeah.
not part of a study
after
as
the trial
compassionate use.
because it helped them so much.
Yeah,
They
'cause it
wanted
helped
to
him so
continue
much.
taking that same drug.
And so most sites don't risk that because you know you have to directly file with the FDA. But I feel like if you really have a passion for research and what you're really doing, I feel like why not? And so we did it. And
And
that
you did
patient
it.
that
You did
patient
it.
still calls me, and every time he comes, he brings me a piece of furniture. Anytime
Wow.
he sees me, I swear, like there's so much stuff in my house that it's furniture he brought me
Here's a love seat
because he was just so yeah, I'm serious.
to show my love.
Because he was just
That's
so like appreciative
That's
of
great.
it. Because this was like the only treatment, so he had.
But here's the thing, like the fact that nobody outside of like you have
Yeah.
that story, right?
Mhm.
But really imagine having that story captured and shared with other people
Exactly.
who are going to engage with that same research study, like closing the loop. Because right now it's really,
Mhm.
I think the cycle has been, you know, sponsor, research site, end
Yeah.
of cycle. There's nothing that gets to the
Mhm.
patient and shows
Yeah.
the patient's journey.
Well, they try to do recruitment, but I feel like the recruitment is so it's almost like a checklist.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have this, this, or this? If so, call us. Instead of like inspiring that participation, like you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
I feel like I know there can't be any cohesion. That's like something the FDA requires, but I feel like it should have more of a message behind it. And
Yeah.
then I think with Clin Social, being able to share these stories, obviously all confidential, but share stories that
Mhm.
patients have had, like their
Yeah.
experiences, would be so important.
Absolutely.
And also, my sister and I were brainstorming one day, and we come up with a thing called confessionals. So you CRC, CRAs, you have any of those horror stories or good feel-good stories like the one she had with her patient. Email us, be completely anonymous. we'll bring it up and we'll, talk about it, and, it could be fun. This could be a fun thing. So
Yeah.
reach out to Jen or Jenny?
It's
At Clean
Jen.
Jen at Clean.social, and send the emails to her and read their stories. They'll be all anonymous, but I think it'll be a fun thing to go over and, talk, read out loud. And
Yeah.
so to hear the kind of stories, the good stories, also with the bad stories.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
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 That'd be an interesting thing.
And I think it also,
tune
I
in
think,
very
promotes
soon.
trust, saying, "Hey, look,
Mhm.
there's this stuff has happened too, but we're
Yeah.
working to fix it."
I think this is like an area where people don't need to be sold to.
Yeah,
Really, it's
exactly.
more of like telling honest stories and being
Mhm.
transparent and
Yeah.
And how
and
hard
integrous.
when
Yeah.
when sites do bad things.
Yeah,
How hard
right.
they get, like they can get.
They can get locked, docked, and levied, right?
Yeah,
So,
like
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of regulations, and you know what I mean. And so
Right.
I feel like we need to just spread our stories. And
Cool. Yeah.
All right. So I have a question. It's probably something everybody wants to know on the sponsor side, since you're from the sponsor side. So I have a question for you. So you're a sponsor. Why would you choose Clean Social on the
honestly,
sponsor side?
sponsors, what they really look for is experience. So
No, but I mean, as a sponsor, why would you come out to Clean Social to put
yeah,
stuff out to go to us?
I'm
Oh,
going through the process.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry. I
what
thought you were
what
going off
they
big, of course.
no no
For a
no.
second,
So
my
what
bad.
sponsors like is experience and quality, and I
Yeah.
feel like and timeliness. So like obviously they have all these deadlines and stuff, and so understanding these deadlines, understanding recruitment goals, and understanding all of that helps us position Clean Social in a way that we can meet all these goals for the
Sure.
sponsor and understand why we have to meet them, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like having the quality that you bring and the experience that we bring together is, I mean, I wouldn't see why they would want to go anywhere else, because we can give them just as good quality as
Yeah.
maybe even those big production companies that don't really know much about research.
That's the other thing too, is that because you have, like, I bring the production background and understanding how to scale production to meet
Mhm.
like a project specific needs. Like,
Mhm.
we can work with small sites or work our way up to really huge, sponsored campaigns.
Yeah.
And we know about, deadlines, deliverables, different formatting. After they've all passed through,
IRB approvals and stuff.
all
yeah.
that stuff is the regulatory process that Jen can and Felix can see to and provide to and make sure that the content that's being delivered is also, checks all the boxes, because obviously this is a very particular set of standards that need to be met. Yeah, I think it just makes a lot of sense, because if you go a random production company that doesn't have this
Research
side of
knowledge,
it,
yeah.
then it's
Submissions are gonna take longer.
I
It's
think
gonna take
it-
longer to get approved because they don't know what's acceptable and, approving, and, we already come in here knowing
yeah.
we did, what we think they know, what we know what they would approve or not,
Sure, exactly.
what is
And I
acceptable,
feel-
and then we can get less times going back and forth
Yeah.
with RB and sponsors. But my root question was not that. I mean, you did get great information, but I want to get into more of that. Well, how can sponsors use Clean Social?
Oh, okay. Well, you asked why should they use.
Exactly.
Like,
Why? Why would
why-
you use us?
so-
What would you use us for?
So Clean Social can be used for patient recruitment campaigns for study. It could be used for training, so we can produce training documents. So like I already have a lot of courses of training, CRCs, training sites, training.
School?
We have Clean Mastery academy.cleanmastery.com. We don't have any courses up right now because we're doing it per person basis, so you kind of have to apply to get access. But we have courses already. We can build courses. We know how to read protocols so in depth that we can train sites how to execute protocols. I mean, we could do investigator meetings. We can do pretty much anything
So you-
at any scale because of our partnership with him and because of our knowledge. But I think one of the big things that you were mentioning about those production companies, they don't really understand the message as well either. So I feel like they kind of just tell them, hey, this is what we want, do it, right? I feel like with us, it brings more to the conversation.
With our
We bring
experience?
more collaborative approach. We'll be like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's great, but why don't we portray it in this way
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
it could
use a different
probably
language.
attract more
Yeah.
patients.
Use
Right.
a different language, and
So-
you have a idea of, you should do this and that, and then your production side, and we have the clinical research.
Yeah.
That'll be that can get approved, and
So I feel
we
like
can collaborate.
it's more
seamless.
Yeah, it's more collaborative because we know the
Seamless.
regulations already, so
Yeah.
we're not gonna tell them, hey, yeah, you
Yeah.
should do this, and they're gonna be like, but we can't.
Well, we're not gonna waste your
So-
time or anybody else's time putting something out
Right.
that might not have a chance of getting
Of
approved.
course, I think part of it too is like time. Time is literally money in this kind of space,
Yep.
and so sponsors, when they invest in Clean Social, they know that they're not going to throw money down a drain that can't
Yeah.
yield fruit,
Yeah.
right?
And it would be something they could possibly replicate
Of
with
course,
other studies. So,
Right.
like, we were talking about also possibly doing webinars for sponsors
Right.
and stuff,
Of
for
course.
trainings and stuff. And I feel like the quality that it's going to be, it's not going to be like just someone on Teams.
Right.
Like, I feel like the quality that we can provide can be something that they can save for later use, and it'll be something
Future
And
proof.
it's repeatable to different sites.
they
If
could repurpose
we can
it.
make, let's say, for example, we can make a protocol training video, and the sponsor can use it to other sites and use that as like a secondary method of training.
Yeah.
After the investigator meeting, and
Yeah.
it can be useful a lot of other ways too. I mean,
Right.
the sponsors we can help the sponsors reach the national level of.
I feel like it's
outreach
most
and-
things are global, so I feel
And
like
we
globally.
can have we also help the sites reach our local level of outreach and education of to the population of, so we can help
Yeah.
on the national level and then on the local level where your sites are located at.
Yeah.
Very
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we have a good thing going. It's a need, like you're saying, it's a big need in this industry. And
Yeah.
it's a shame that it's crazy how it hasn't been done yet.
Yeah. I think it's interesting though that you guys have, I think, just leadership mindset to begin with, because you see a need, you see where the industry is going, you see where the current landscape is and where the limitations are. And so you're stepping into the gap and kind of building something that's going to, expedite and be
Yeah.
very valuable for the industry. And you're not just waiting for it to
Yeah.
happen. You know what I mean?
And I feel like no, yeah,
Right.
and I feel like a lot of the companies that I see out there, even just patient recruitment companies, I feel like it's more like focused on them, like what can I
Sure,
get, like
exactly.
financial gain,
Yeah.
instead of really like why we're doing it.
Right.
And like, so I feel like with us being able to use Clean Social as a platform to spread awareness, but also use it where we can also help other people
Yeah.
spread awareness. I feel like that is what is also setting us apart, because we care about this information. We want this. Like the reason we even created this or thought about this is because we saw the gap.
Sure.
Like 80% of studies don't reach their recruitment goals.
Right.
Like
And
we're here to fix that.
95% of the population thinks they're guinea pigs in clinical research. So
Or they don't know about
they
clinical
don't know
clinical
anything about
research.
it,
Yeah.
and that's what we need to.
How
change
many
and
memes have
everybody
how many memes have we posted about when you're trying to explain clinical research to someone, and it's like the guy going crazy trying to explain, like, and it's true because that's how research is. But if we can make it like just how informed consents have to be written at like the patient's level of education, so it has to be very broad, very simple to read. I feel like if we do that as well with our content, make it very broad, simple,
Yeah.
like something that's gonna grab attention, and then I feel like that's what's gonna help.
And then interesting and educational. at the
Yeah.
same time.
So I
It's
feel like.
if it's not interesting, you're not gonna pay attention to it.
Sure.
It's not gonna catch your eye. It's not gonna be, oh, wait a minute, this looks cool. You look at it. Oh, maybe I can help future my kids, or my kids' kids, because there's a lot of genetic stuff that come in. You pass it down, and you're scared
Yeah.
to pass it down to your kids. And these studies can actually help future generations, and help come up with actual treatments and better quality of
Yeah.
life for everybody.
And I really
Not
feel
to be
like
scared.
clinical research needs more creative, like
Yeah.
side to things. And I feel like Raymond,
Raymond.
I always do that.
Raymond.
Raymond brings that, and like, so explain like your creative process sometimes, like when you're thinking of these like
the chief creative
productions
officer
and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
in social.
Yeah, I think for me, what helps me a lot is trying to understand what the vision is for, like, what are we trying to say, how are we trying to say it, what's the tone that we want to embody in a specific project, and then it's like, okay, now let's collaborate on how do we do that in a compelling way, right? Like, how do we do that in a way that every image that is captured supports that overall structure.
Yeah.
And so really it starts with a big vision of like, where do I want this particular project to go? Who is it that we're talking about? Who are they
Yeah.
as a person? How do I embody and reflect that directive
Mhm.
in the lighting and the camera and the movement
Yeah.
and the lenses that we pick, all those kind of things.
Mhm.
And then from there, it's, you know, going to the lab and picking the right tools and the right people to help make that happen
Yeah.
and you know, build out stuff. I think, you know,
I think we got the right people.
Yeah, I feel like your experience, the amount of experience you have, like
yeah,
being behind the camera, like you won awards, so obviously what you do behind the camera is effective.
it's pretty
It
okay.
portrays, I mean, I would assume, it portrays the message very
Yeah,
well and very beautifully. Because I
right,
feel like if you can do a movie and it can be impactful, but if the visuals are not aligned with your message,
right.
I feel like it could also fall on deaf ears as well.
Yeah,
So I feel like what you bring is more like all of it.
Or on blind
And
eyes.
with your experience and all of that, like you're able to encompass everything that someone's trying to portray in this, like from a camera, and that's not
sure.
easy to do. So, really excited to
Yeah,
have you on board on this team because
Yeah.
this is a passion project for me,
sure. Yeah,
and so I really wanted someone to come into this passion project with me that has that same passion.
yeah.
Mhm.
So,
And I have a question for Raymond over here.
Raymond,
And this is just to show, you know, the actual, what people, the knowledge of regular population about research. So before we talked about research to you, what did you know about clinical research before we started collaborating and talking about research?
Not much. I obviously I knew that there was a regulatory process for, you know,
But what did you
getting.
know about trials? Did you all you did was hear it on the radio?
Yeah, you just
What was your
hear.
thought about getting into a study, a research study, a clinical trial? You ever think about that or?
No, I know it's a very long and slow process for the most part, and I listen a lot to Andrew Huberman, and so he talks quite a bit. He's actually somebody that's interesting because he's used his medical experience and his podcast to help kind of
Mhm.
connect audiences to people who are going through those research studies and
mm,
referencing literature often when he
Yeah.
talks about neuroscience,
that's awesome.
which is
Cool.
really cool. And he's also kind of like a pioneer in that space where his mission is just sharing the science behind
Mm,
how the human body reacts to certain things. And a lot of the people that he's working with are people involved in lab trials and clinical trials and clinical research,
Cool.
because they test, they qualify, they
mhm.
retest the triple blind study. They, you know, the gold standard for how these things
Mhm.
get approved. Um, and so, you know, just anecdotal really has been
Mhm.
my experience so much. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't really been involved in any trials myself, except just like life. You know, life it's an experiment in and of itself. But you know,
You just can't repeat it.
yeah, I haven't delved deep into a specific study. I've referenced some literature just on, you know, just out of curiosity, wanting to learn. You know,
So do you think that the social media project that we're doing would would have helped you realize what research is about and help you educate you on research, our initiative?
I
Would it
think
have helped you decide to maybe I want to get into a study, maybe I want to go
I
and
think
put my two cents, my
I
part
think
in?
I think at the moment that word research is like a very like ambiguous, like
Mhm.
it's not identifiable. It's this like
Mhm.
abstract concept that's
Yeah.
in the void somewhere. It's
Yeah.
happening.
Like people know it's happening, but they
It's
don't
happening, but they're
understand
like
how it works.
No
there's
idea
no
about
like how do we tie it to something
Yeah.
personal or concrete? It's
Yeah.
missing that. So I think until that happens, then there isn't really anything that would encourage people to want to be a part of something. Most people are tend to be psychologically, they tend to
Yeah.
be you know, hesitant
Mhm.
towards things that they're not certain about.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so this would be something that now they could have some certainty
Yeah.
I
about.
think it also, if we can get like probably more doctors involved,
Oh,
also
sure.
like
Yeah.
interviewing or like
Yeah.
podcast wise,
Exactly.
I feel like that would also bring a lot of trust
Bring
because
more trust, more
I know
confidence.
that a lot of our patients, they would come and they'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I want to join the study, but let me ask my doctor first.
Yeah.
And they'll leave, and their doctor will be like, no, you can't
Yeah.
do research studies. I don't like it. I don't trust it.
Sure.
And I feel like also bringing other doctors in play
Mhm.
and giving the good side of it as well would
Yeah.
also help
Yeah.
portray a good message.
I'm going to quote Marvel here. So, there is no advancement without experimentation. And
Yeah.
yes, it's from Hyper, but it's actually kind of true.
It's kind of scary. Yes, it is true, and I think
It's true.
I think to your point, like bridging that gap, like has made like Huberman's a good example. He's bridged that
Mhm.
gap. People brought, you know, scientists and people who are experts in their specific
Mhm.
modalities and health and neuroscience and physiology and biology and all these areas. He's made that like a commonplace,
Yeah.
and he's got a very successful podcast. So I think it shows like people are open to that information. Now,
Mhm.
if you take that and pair it with compelling stories and make it very
Mhm.
human,
On social media.
yeah, through social, I think
Yeah.
people would definitely get involved. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this affects me. I would definitely be
A big
involved.
increase of new patients into research, and I think that would help
And
everybody,
Yeah.
sponsors,
so,
sites, everybody.
what do you guys think, right?
Future generations.
I feel like also giving those personal messages of where like a drug may have worked under clinical research, like under a trial,
Mhm.
could also help inspire the sites who want to work harder for a study.
It's a feel
Yeah,
good. It's
You
a
know
feel
what I
good
mean?
story. It's a feel good. Like
Well,
you
and
want to help.
it helps you
Yeah.
understand the effect
Why
that it has
why we're
on a
doing it,
person's daily
and
life.
why we're doing it.
yeah. I kind of imagine that what as sites continue to just nail studies and
Mhm.
prove that they're trustworthy and skilled, it's kind of like the rich will get richer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll earn more studies. So I think on the site side, it makes a lot of sense to show their own qualifications, the quality
Mhm.
of their staff, the proven effectiveness of them
Yeah.
being able to carry through studies and deliver for sponsors. I think is really important, and it obviously will gain trust on the sponsor side for them to be hosting new
Yeah.
research, along the way.
And I feel like it also helps build trust with the patient
Big time,
too,
yeah.
because like they see,
If they have a
okay,
brand that
they're
they
yeah,
recognize,
exactly.
yeah,
And I feel like that's why also Clin Social is important for sites because we bring that value. Like we can give you that content strategy that's really going to help set you apart.
yeah,
And not only just a strategy. So like we're obviously going to have different tiers like we were discussing of, pay and stuff, but I feel like the production aspect, like what you do, I feel like it's so important
Yeah.
for sites to see that. Like,
right,
because like yeah, there's plenty of sites will be, yeah, let's do social media marketing, let's do that. Let's do content strategy and stuff like that, but they'll probably be more hesitant to do the production side. But I feel like the production side is what's really going to convey the message. And like I
to the
said,
patients, yeah,
yeah, you provide this like whole beautiful picture, like all of it together. And
Yep.
like being able to use that and put it in a strategy, I feel like is really where Clin Social is going to set sites apart from others and
Yeah.
make them stand out, not just to sponsors, but to patients, because they're going to be like, wow, these people really care. Look at the quality that they're using. And then kind of like it's just a ripple effect. What you
Right.
are showing people on social media is what they're going to expect. So, like, you're showing that you have really good quality video and you care, that you want to put this information out. And then when they come to your site, you just show that you do. And I feel like that is really going to help sites go to the next level.
And we
Sure.
can also we adapt. New studies come out, and we can change your
We could
your
pivot the
pivot
content
the
strategy.
program and into what you needed, what's
Yeah.
best for your individual site
Mhm.
or a sponsor, CEO,
We were
whatever you need.
focusing a lot on sponsors. That's why I started talking
Yeah.
about sites
So
too.
Yeah.
for
No,
the
but
sites
I think it's
on a local
important.
level too, it can education of the patients in your area.
Yeah.
It can help a lot. Bring up patient recruitment and meeting your recruitment goals. Like
It's
you
also
said,
it's also
80%
building
don't meet.
relationships with the local
Mhm.
communities.
Yeah.
Community outreach and
I think
stuff
those
like
sites are going to have that's where their strong suit is really going to be when
that. Yeah.
they can bridge the gap and really
Finding
make
new patient,
make those relationships.
research naive
Yeah.
patients. Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, I don't know, I always imagine this, like, when you see somebody and you recognize them because of social media,
Hmm.
you're like, oh, wow, cool. Like, I feel like I know them in
Right.
a way. So that kind of brings more trust because, like, I'm more open to, like, talk to someone that I kind of think I know how they are because of social media.
Yeah.
And so it kind of also builds that, like, trust before they even get to your site.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, hey, you're Jessica, or let's
You're
say.
pre-qualified.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, hey, you're Jessica, aren't you? I remember seeing
Like
you
you're
on your social
pre-screened.
media. Like, you know
Sure.
what I mean?
If you're pre-screened.
And so, yeah, exactly. Like, if they had already
Yeah.
pre-met you, and I feel like that's also important
Makes them feel
to
a lot
make
more
people
comfortable with you.
get to know you
Absolutely.
as a site.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other cool ideas you want
I have a lot of
to
ideas, but
express?
I don't want to share them with everybody.
Yeah.
Give away all the secrets.
Okay. Well,
No, I'm just teasing.
I think this is a
I wish
really
we had a
nice.
tape that we can cut with scissors, like they do in the new.
That's
Well,
hilarious. Like
the-
grand
That would've been
opening.
good,
We'll like
Grand
we'll
opening.
animate the grand opening graphic
That's
here.
funny.
Yeah, we can do that with the scissors.
I think we had
So you
like
can
a
add on.
really great discussion,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
feel like we did pinpoint a lot of areas that
and
are
needs.
needed in clinical research, and
Mm.
I feel like we expressed the way that we can all work together and like our relationship. Like
Sure.
I'm getting
I'm
goosebumps.
talking about, we
Getting
played.
goosebumps right
That I
now.
don't think everybody's understanding. We didn't just play pool. We played in a league. I mean, we went to Vegas plenty of times. I know he did. This guy over here is a different level.
No,
He's literally
he's
pro.
a pro, like
Literally,
pro.
tell him
I-
about your pro journey. He also is an influencer for pool, so he
Oh,
knows
if
about
you wanna learn
content.
Kicking, he's gonna come up with a nice kicking lesson.
So if you want to learn how to play billiards too,
Yeah.
we can all play.
What
Yeah.
is your site for people that are interested in learning to play pool?
They can follow me on Lenars Pro Pools, my YouTube channel, and
Okay.
I have a Facebook page that's similar, an Instagram page is similar,
Lenars
and
Pool?
yeah, they.
Nice.
It'll be linked
I'm a
below or on
pro-
the screen.
pro tour qualified, you know,
Yeah.
card holding pro. That's just like a side gig. I'm
The
not.
next-
I'm not
I'm
a pro.
side
Pool.
gig, and
The
he's
next
one of
one-
the best. There's
The
that.
next one is he beat the number one.
Yeah.
player in the world.
Yeah.
Fargo
Jersey
is
City.
Fargo's like your
rating.
credit score,
Yeah.
but like
Kind of.
pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
got
I
skill level
I beat the best player in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So-
saw it. It was good.
I beat the player who beat the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Twice.
Twice.
So I mean, I think I'm up there now
She-
too.
She's the champ. She's the champ. She's the champ.
So I haven't played it for real in like 4 or 5
That's
years.
you always
so-
give him bad racks.
Listen, you don't need to air the dirty laundry, you know.
I'm not saying that's my trick. I'm just not saying it's not.
That's right. That's
So-
fair. It's fair enough.
Either agrees or
I plead the fifth.
That's right.
So, but it was really nice talking with you, and
Yeah, thank you
hopefully we're
guys,
gonna
yeah.
have way more podcasts together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for tuning in to Off the Clock. Cheers, so that we can come out. I know you
I'm
don't have.
empty.
He doesn't drink, but he's empty. Oh, guys, just me.
Salute.
So thank you guys. Don't forget to follow, like, share, subscribe, whatever channel this is on. Whatever you have to do, just do it. But definitely, yes, but definitely share
Yeah,
with
and
other
follow
people.
Clin Social.
Follow
And
Clin
if you have any
Dutch.
questions, reach out to
Master.
Jen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys
Shout
have a
out,
great
if you want to get
day.
into research, shout out to Alex. Read his books. All about getting into research.
All right. Well, thank you
Boy.
guys. Bye. Oh, well, we always do a high five, so you have to join our high five now.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Later.